Well, joining me to dig a little deeper into his economic agenda is CNN India Bureau Chief Ravi Agrawal. Ravi, thank you so much for being with us. You and I have talked a lot about this initial beginning for Modi. A lot of the stock market gains we have seen are on the hopes of what he might accomplish. What has he actually done policy-wise to promote that growth? Is he delivering?
Well, Maggie, it all depends on how you spin it. Now, as you know, Modi has many supporters, obviously here in India, but also in the United States, as you saw from those pictures you were showing us from New York's Madison Square Gardens. Now, these supporters will say that Modi's biggest achievement so far has been to change the mindset in India and to change perceptions about India. Gone are the days when Indians were despondent about the state of their economy and the future of their economy. Instead, now they're much more optimistic, and Modi's supporters will say that all of these promises that he's making, once he actually manages to implement them, you will see a new, different, vibrant, successful India, a country that's growing at the speed of China. Now, that's one side of the story. That's Modi's supporters. Modi's critics, on the other hand, will say, look, we agree, he's a great speaker. He has great ideas. These are all interesting things to propose to the Indian people, but where are the results? How is he going to achieve any of these big-ticket promises that he's making? And Maggie, I have to say, there is no easy answer to any of these things. The pro and con of this debate is best encapsulated by something that happened last week. Modi launched his Make in India movement. It's essentially a fancy way of saying that he wants to revive manufacturing in India. And many CEOs were there. Modi made a great speech himself. And in that speech, he talked about how manufacturing would be India's future. It would create jobs. It would transform the nation. But many of us who were there, we left it just wondering, how is he going to deliver on these big, sweeping promises? They might be simple ideas, but it's very difficult to transform those ideas into action. And so for now, the message from the administration seems to be, have faith in Modi. And the markets are following that.
They are, but you're right. It's an enormous task when you're talking about a country that it is big, an economy that is as big as India. Ravi, it's really striking watching him be here. I cannot remember any world leader sort of taking on this rock star, Madison Square Garden. I mean, that's where concerts sell out. It's been an extraordinary few days. What does Modi want out of this U.S. trip? He's not coming in quietly. He's not even coming in sort of as a diplomat. He is coming in as this larger-than-life character. What does he want out of this trip?
Well, he's been on a foreign policy spree. He's been to Japan. He's been to Brazil. But this is the big one. The United Nations and the United States, this is what he's been preparing for months. And there are two main things that he wants. One is to change a vision of India's place on the global stage. He wants to put up a big sign on India saying India is open for business. And that's the message he's taken to America, to the United Nations, to the United States. This is a man who's very aware of how India ranks on various rankings. He frequently cites the fact that India places 179th in the world for starting a business. That's what he's talking about changing. Now, the second thing that he really wants is related to the first, money. Modi realizes more than anyone else that all of these big promises that he's making, 100 new cities, putting a toilet in every home, giving every single Indian a smartphone, connecting India's ports to its roads, improving India's supply chain. He's going to need a lot of money to turn all of these promises into reality. And he does realize that there is no better place to raise money than in New York and in Washington, D.C.